If we say that family is the bedrock of society,
Yes.
and society eventually, becomes community and produces responsible people, how much influence do you think that government should have on families?
Influence.
Can there be any relationship?
Yes, there is. Because the family units make up the society, and it's like a cost unit now, and the cost centers and all of that. And then the government is the umbrella center over that. So if you look at your organogram, it's interwoven. So the government must have an influence as in doing the foreign, because the government officials still have families, so they still fall under the same cadre. The government must draw programs for families. Are you following me? And use the media. I discovered that successive previous governments were not able to use the media correctly. But I think they should begin to use media correctly. All platforms, they should begin to use them correctly. And then the messages must be clearly driven, well designed, and to get at a particular result that they want. I'll give you an example. Silicon Valley gained the attention of Kenya because of the mobile money issue. No mobile money was discovered in Kenya, and then the taxi per se software was discovered in Kenya too. So you can use it. And then Silicon Valley is going. They went with Obama. Recently announced they went there for that. Obama went to have breakfast with his family, but they came for business. So if the government is able to target, you must have a target, know what you want to achieve, the issue of crime and all of that, and then the family issues, then how the family centers must be protected, and then issues of if you do not take your kids to school, punitive measures, if you cannot pay their fees, why not complain to XYZ department, send a complaint, and then you can see how you can then pilot this project from one state to the other, not at the same time. You can use a sample space like Lagos or Abuja, where you have people who are really working. Most people are working in Abuja, and they can afford to at least send their kids to school or make a report that they can afford to pay their wards fees and all of that. And then you can really gather information and see where the government, because it's just thinking, all this common sense. There's no problem without solution.
Speaking about solutions, early 80s, at that time, say 83, you remember the war against indiscipline.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people behaved themselves. They did things that they never thought they were going to do at that time. Those who were hoarding things brought them out. They were selling them. Things were done decently and orderly. Yeah. Several years down the line, we've lost Nigeria Airways. We've lost several institutions that we had in this country. And then here we are now, trying to see how we could fix the ship of state and let it just sail smoothly. But one wonders, if you look 10, 15, 20 years on, are we going to be back again trying to, assuming we fix certain things now?
Yeah.
How do we then ensure that, look, you don't, one government comes in today, another comes in tomorrow, we grapple, and yet the fight against corruption is almost going to be a perpetual one. What do we need to do, or have we even identified it to ensure that, look, we get society running so that whoever comes in, or we all see this as a collective resolve to move us forward?
Our leaders must, take advantage of the cooperative ability of Nigerians. And then they must, if the government needs help, we can provide help for free. Or Nigerians.
Or is it because we're not politicians, so we can't think the way they think? So no! Look, we've seen that this needs to be fixed, that needs to be fixed. Just approach it the private sector where perhaps you may get a result.
Politics ends with party.
With party?
Oh, party, an election. That's where politics ends.
So when they get in there?
Now it's serious business. The reason why the governors cannot pay salaries is because they have not been able to run a kiosk. You don't ask a man who cannot run a kiosk effectively to come and run a country or run a state.
But we elected them.
They bamboozled us. They came and told us lies. They came and told us stuff that they thought we would listen to and thought we would buy into. They did not back them up with facts. Some of us challenged those facts. I was on my Facebook page screaming, we need to have these guys provide facts. Well, you cannot run the kiosk. How do you want to run a state? You cannot even, you are talking of IGP and you are focusing on payment of salaries alone. Is that what you are, the government, so, I don't answer your question. In 10 years from now, 15 years from now, it depends on what this present administration hopes to achieve. If Osinbajo is a sound man, President Buhari is a man of strong character. Are you following me? If they want Nigeria in the next 100 years to run very well, they can do it.
you know, let me come in here.
Yes.
The president is a strong man.
Yes.
The vice president is a sound man.
Yes.
Those were your words. But they do not run the state. They are not the politicians. They are not in the Senate. They are not in the House of Representatives. They are not in the local government council. Now, if they are sound with their integrity and all of that, they have a vision. Are they going to run the rest of it? If they have Nigeria first, do the politicians, the other politicians, and indeed do the other civil servants as well, because they run the system as well. Do they have Nigeria first? Will they buy into Nigeria first? Will they be willing to put aside their ambition? I mean, we looked at the papers today, and the Senate has suspended indefinitely a debate on a pay cut proposal. So would the others buy into this?
They can suspend it all they like. But when they call off that suspension, that bill will be back on the table. If the president, you see, it's all about when you are a leader, you lead by examples. If in churches today, there's a particular church where the lead man wears jerry curls. His followers have started wearing jerry curls. He didn't tell them to wear jerry curls. He wears suits, and his followers wear suits too. You hardly see anybody wearing Ankara there. So if it's what you do, they watch you. The reason why a lot of things happened under our brother Jonathan was because perhaps they saw that his man was not tough. That's how it works. If you have a security man, you have a cook, you don't talk too much. The day you employ, tell them what you want. After telling them what you want, they watch your body language. Do you frown when you notice they are out of order? Do you call them to order when they're out of order? Do you say it as it is? Do you fire? Do you hire better hands? They watch you. So they fall in line.
What if you do all this and they still...
it becomes a situation of crime. It's a criminal issue, and then the law will have to take its full course. That's all. Now he's saying that people should respond to queries. The ministries there's chaos right now. Respond to queries within a specific time. Old ones, yes, 30 days, but after that you have 24 hours, 48 hours rather. So those issues are, he has said it. The Americans call it an executive order. So they are going to fall in line. No matter what happens, they will fall because somebody's going to refer, oh, the man at the top is on call. So what's the problem?
But are you optimistic that at the end of the day, in fact, what are you optimistic of that we would have achieved at the end of, say, okay, let's start with 4 years.
After 4 years, I'm not optimistic about anything for now.
Not even against the fight against corruption?
Yeah, we've been on that road before. So, you know, when a snake has bitten you and you see a millipede, you tend to jump. So I'm not excited about anything. I'm observing, I'm just watching. And if I would not intend to watch for too long, if the presidency needs, there are websites, you can advertise and you need help, people can profile. But I think if what needs to be done is done, Nigerian economy will grow faster than that of Japan. In 4 years, people are bringing loot back. Because we cooperate, Nigerians will cooperate. Once we see, people are already thinking of going into agriculture because the man just said, let's diversify. Are you following me?
Okay, Emmanuel Sangbedo, process analyst, talking to us about his impressions of the state of the nation. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Oh, my pleasure.